Oh, dude, this thing, yeah. This would be my pick if I'm being honest. What's up guys, welcome back to the Utah Airguns channel. Today we are going to be talking about the extreme end of the budget models. So we always get comments, you know, when we're showing off these super fancy airgun setups, there's always complaints about price. And I mean, they're valid. Some of the setups that we show are on the very high end pricey side, and you get that performance. They're extremely accurate, very efficient, and super quiet. But we like to show both ends of the spectrum. So today we are going to be talking about the most affordable airgun setups that you can get. We're not going to be talking about all of them, but I've gathered three airguns that I think you get a lot of value for your money. You get to dip your toes in, you get to see the performance that these airguns have, and that might just be, you know, the little kick in the pants that makes you want to make that bigger investment. So let's jump right into it. So the first gun we're going to talk about is the Umarex Komplete. And the reason why I'm putting it first is because I think it is probably the most cost-effective investment when it comes to, you know, getting into the pre-charged pneumatic air rifle game, because it doesn't require the investment of a tank, a compressor, or even a hand pump. It comes with one little canister that are 3,600 PSI, so they're not green gas and they're not CO2. So you're getting that high pressure performance and shot count without the investment of, you know, obviously the pumps and compressors. But you do have to continue to buy these canisters. But these guns are awesome. They get a great shot count. They do come with a scope as well, which we'll be mounting and taking down in the range to test some accuracy. We also have a full review video on this one if you want to go and check that out. We go a little bit more in depth. But yeah, this gun is great. I think it's around 250 bucks. So that gets you shooting right out of the box. You just throw the tank in there, mount the scope up, and you're ready to go. You just need to buy pellets. So that is why we put this one first in the lineup. It's one and done. You buy this, take it home, and you're shooting. There's no other investments. There's no other accessories you need to buy. But yeah, the Umarex Komplete is a fantastic option. So the next gun I'm gonna show you might be a little unexpected, but it is very affordable and I think really cool. It gives you some good cool factor. So this is the Diana Bandit. So it has a very small air tank. They only come in 177, which I think is appropriate because this tiny tank obviously doesn't hold a lot of air, so you're going to need to push a very small, light projectile to get a decent shot count. But I think these are super fun. They're great for, you know, small pest control inside of probably 40 yards. And we'll go shoot this in the range, but we've outfitted it with a little Vortex red dot. We use the Eagle Vision dovetail pick rail adapters. A lot of people really enjoys these. They have a moderator, they're single shot. They do come with a rotary mag, but you know, the setup that I put on here kind of gets in the way of the magazine, so it has a single feed shelf. But these start at around 200 bucks. Well, actually this is the nicer one, with the wood grip. They do make a polymer grip one that is around 170 bucks, I think. So this one is like 199, and then the red dot is 150. So this setup is very affordable and these are super accurate as well. The only thing that you will have to invest in when it comes to this gun is either a tank, a compressor, or a hand pump. And since we are talking budget, we are going to do hand pumps today. I have one example here. This is just the one I grabbed out of our studio, but we have quite a few options that are very affordable. I think the cheapest hand pump starts at 99 bucks and it goes up from there. But they all essentially do the same thing, get you that high pressure air with a little bit of a workout. It is a bolt action. It has that single feed tray, but like I said earlier, it does come with a little rotary mag. But yeah, that is the Diana Bandit. This one is really cool. It does give you a little bit more cool factor, impress your friends. This would make a fantastic backyard plinker, especially because, you know, you're shooting an 8-grain pellet, not very fast, so there's a lot less chance of, you know, collateral damage if you do ricochet one. So the last gun is fairly new. We recently got it in and I've been shooting it and kind of testing it, and for the price, I think it's a great gun. So it is the JTS Airstrike. It also has its own tank. It's not a canister gun like the Komplete, so you will need to pump this one up. But one of the things that I liked about it was it got pretty good shot count, but it has iron sights. So this is one of those guns that you'll be able to save money with. Some of the other guns don't come with irons. Oh, I guess I will say that. So if you want to buy the Diana, it also has iron sights. So you don't have to initially invest in an optic. And you know, as well as the JTS, it has iron sights and they are pretty solid. They're both fiber optic, they're fully adjustable. As you guys are probably aware, some guns come with cheaper iron sights that are basically useless, but these ones are very nice and they definitely are small game accurate. So that's always a plus. It also comes with a pick rail so that you can mount whatever optic you want on there to squeeze a little bit more accuracy out of them. But yeah, this gun was great. I will say, I guess the only qualm I have with it is you can't put a moderator on it, which I don't think is a big deal on a super budget gun. That is one of the things that is, as you invest more, you get a quieter gun. But the little Bandit does come with a moderator, so we'll see how quiet that is when we go and shoot them. That is the last gun we're going to talk about today, so let's go down in the range and do some plinking and just, you know, a little bit of accuracy and see how each of these guns do. All right, guys, we're down in the range. We're going to start off with the Komplete. You can see the little air tank right there. I'll pull this cover off for you just so you can see it. So that is the air tanks that you can buy. It comes with one of them. They're 3,600 PSI, so you get a pretty significant shot count, you know, considering the size of the tank, but they just screw in there and they puncture like a CO2 bottle does. But they get pretty good shot count and they're pushing them around like high 800s, low 900s. But I will say, when you put this scope on, don't be surprised at the quality of the scope, especially if you're a glass snob. It's a $250 gun. That's what you'd expect for this scope. It's very usable though. It's not gonna blow your mind with clarity and stuff, but it holds 0 and you'd be able to kill stuff with it. And then the mag, let's see, it is a 10-shot rotary mag. And it's also, me and Cole just barely found this out, it's the exact same mag that the JTS Airstrike uses. They're just marked differently. All right, so we're gonna do some shooting on steel with the Komplete real quick. We got the camera on our little kind of KYL rack. We're gonna see how far down we can go. Keep in mind, this is a very low magnification scope, so some of those targets are a little harder to see. Whoops, I think I just double fed it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, there we go. Oh, I grazed it. Grazed that one. I think I'm shooting a little bit to the right. Oh, maybe a little bit left. There we go. I think I'm out. Yep. Well, that's not bad. Those targets are very hard to see with this 4X scope. It does have a bit thicker crosshairs, but no, it's definitely killing accurate. It's relatively quiet. It's not the most quiet gun you've ever shot, but it does have, you know, a cheap moderator on there, which is better than nothing. So one thing that I forgot to mention in our full like in-depth review on this video is that when you're done shooting or when you notice that decrease in the velocity, when you know you're obviously getting low on air, it does have a degas kind of port so that you don't have to shoot it completely empty and take the pressure off the threads to replace the tank. So right there, it has a little Allen key. You just loosen that, it'll degas it. You can safely remove the tank, tighten that up, and install a new one. So just thought I'd reiterate that for this video. Overall, it's not a bad gun for 250 bucks, especially being able to shoot right out of the box. Just throw that canister on. I would say pick up a pack of canisters. So maybe spend 270 bucks and have a lot more air, but still, I think it's a decent gun. All right, so next gun up is the Diana Bandit, and it is about halfway full. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna use one of our hand pumps and just demonstrate pumping up a gun with that. So it'll be pretty similar to how you would fill with one of our normal tanks. You'll make sure your purge valve is closed. hook it up to your Foster fitting. Might be a little hard to see your gauge, but not too bad. This one's a workout. Ugh.
A few moments later.
All right, that got us up. So the nice thing about this gun is it has a very small tank. So that got us up to a good working pressure. All right, so we've got the Diana Bandit all aired up. And I'm gonna shoot the smaller 2 chicken targets right at about 20 yards. There we go. For being a little 177, it smacks it pretty hard. And if I'm being honest, if I had to pick one of these 3, it would be this one. This gun is fun. Let's see if I can hit the far ram. Yep. All right, I'm really gonna try one more on the top left plate rack. The target is like the same size as the dot. Oh, dude, this thing, yeah. This would be my pick if I'm being honest. Buy the hand pump. And this thing would be just a riot if you have a bunch of house sparrows around your house within 30 yards, because 177 just straight up deletes those little birds. It's so fun. All right, let's see if I can go 2 for 2 on the far one, and then we'll move on. Nope, I can't. Let's move on. All right, guys, we have the JTS Airstrike up now, and because it does come with iron sights, we're gonna shoot it with iron sights and see how we do. And one thing that I noticed as we were zeroing it, I said it doesn't have a moderator, but I think they made kind of a small, you know, mini moderator in the shroud, because it's a lot quieter than I was expecting, and you guys will hear that now. So now we're gonna try for those farther rams over on the left. Nice. Let's try the right one. Going under it. There we go. Go left one again. Oh, under it. There we go. Nice. So like I said earlier, these iron sights are very usable, nice and bright, they're fiber optic. I think the main draw to this one over the other ones is going to be capacity. It obviously has a much larger tank than both of them. It goes to, I believe, a little bit higher pressure than the Komplete. So more pressure and more volume means more shot count. Has the exact same size mag, literally the exact same mag as the Komplete, so 10 shots. Comes with 2 of them. But then you can always throw whatever scope you want on and get a lot more accuracy out of it. And like I said earlier up in the studio, I thought, you know, the main drawback was this doesn't have a moderator, but it kind of does. I think they have a little kind of expansion chamber in the barrel shroud there that keeps it pretty tame. Like Cole was saying he thinks it's quieter than the Komplete, which I think I might agree with him as well. But yeah, JTS Airstrike, great gun. I think I like the aesthetics a little bit more than the Komplete, but you do need to find an air source for this one, so I would recommend a hand pump. This one would take a little bit longer with a hand pump, no longer than probably 5 minutes, but you know, you probably need the workout anyway. So yeah, that's the Airstrike from JTS. All right, guys, that's all for these 3 budget guns. We obviously have a lot more on the site. If you go onto our website and just click all Airguns, on the left side, there's a small slider bar that go, you know, price from high to low. You slide that down to, you know, whatever your max price range is going to be, and it'll pull up all of our budget guns, because there's quite a few very capable guns. We obviously can't cover them all in one video because you guys have a super short attention span. But go take a look. There is literally a gun for every budget and every application. So let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you want to see any in-depth reviews on other budget guns that we haven't covered. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.